Have you ever felt like you were already behind before you even had the opportunity to begin? Maybe everyone around you seemed to be moving forward, and you felt like you were constantly trying to catch up. Maybe there was a moment or series of moments that made you question your intelligence, your ability, or even your future. I know what that feels like, and that's where my story begins. Hi, favorite family. Welcome to the first episode of my graduation, the Growth and Waiting Well series. I am Clarice, the creator of Favorite Stationery, and I'm going to share pieces of my journey that span nearly over 2 decades. And here's the thing, I originally thought this story would be told after I graduated, but God had another plan. So instead, I'm telling it while I'm still waiting. And maybe that's the point. My book is called Graduation, the Growth and Waiting Well. And although it's about my college journey, it isn't really just about college. It's about what happens when life doesn't happen on the schedule you expected. It's about starting over. It's about disappointment. It's about identity. It's about faith. And it's about learning that being off schedule doesn't necessarily mean you're off track. So let's go back to where this started. So in this episode, we're going to read chapter 1, starting behind. All right. So I start off by saying, in quotes, I was not smart. This was my identity. Pulling up the memories of receiving my high school diploma is bittersweet. I can look back now and recognize how far I have come since that time, but those memories still carry the emotions of the girl I was then. I remember feeling myself fading into the background while the people around me continue moving forward. I did not graduate from high school in May of 2003. My peers did. I didn't. Instead, I graduated in December of 2003 after completing my remaining requirements at Messick Adult School. December was very different from May. There was no traditional graduation day with classmates. There was no shared celebration with the people I had gone to school with. There was no sense that I had completed this important milestone at the same time everyone else had. I believe I stayed home while my peers were graduating. I remember dodging questions here and there about how the day was going, much like I had learned to dodge questions about retaking classes throughout high school. There is something difficult about knowing that people are moving forward while you feel like you're trying to catch up. I had once been a student who attended honors programs in elementary school. I remember being recognized for doing well academically. I remember having confidence in myself as a student. But by high school, that confidence was gone. My academic confidence was in the trash can. I had gone from being the child who could proudly participate in honors programs to the young woman who was trying to avoid conversations about her academic struggles. And eventually, I began to believe something about myself. I was not smart. That became my identity. I wasn't simply someone who was struggling academically. In my mind, I had become someone who wasn't smart. That distinction matters because the way we interpret what happens to us can shape the way we see ourselves. I had struggled. I had fallen behind. I had to retake classes. I had not graduated with my peers. But instead of seeing those things as circumstances I was experiencing, I began to see them as evidence of who I was. I was behind, therefore, I was not smart. I didn't understand it at the time, but I was beginning to build my identity around my academic struggles. Then I graduated. In December 2003, I received my high school diploma from Messick Adult School. Technically, I had accomplished what I needed to accomplish, but emotionally, I was carrying the weight of how I had gotten there. Still, I had my diploma in hand, and I was ready to move forward. My next destination was the University of Memphis. I had graduated from high school, and I was ready for college, but my diploma would still not be enough. I did not meet the minimum GPA requirements for admission. I was rejected. Once again, I found myself facing a reminder that I was not where I thought I should be. Community college became my next step. At that time, community college was not necessarily viewed as the popular path. It wasn't the path I had imagined for myself either, but it was the option available to me, and I was grateful for it. Southwest Community College gave me an opportunity to begin, but even there, I would not begin exactly where I wanted to. I had to start with developmental studies. These were courses designed to help prepare me academically, but they did not count toward an actual degree. So here I was, beginning college, already feeling like I was behind. High school had taken longer than expected. I hadn't gotten into the university I wanted to attend. Now I was beginning college with developmental courses that didn't count towards my degree. The feeling continued. I was behind. And somewhere along the way, the statement became even more personal. I was not smart. This was my identity. But now as I look back, I can see something I could not see then. I did not see myself as God saw me. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. And that's from Psalm 139:14. I didn't understand that my academic struggles could never change the way God created me. I didn't understand that being behind on a timeline did not mean I was behind in God's purpose. I didn't understand that a low GPA could affect my college options without determining my potential. I only knew what I could see, and what I could see was that I was starting behind. But that was the beginning of my college story, not the end of it. I had no idea then how long the journey would become. I had no idea how many times I would change directions, stop, start again, struggle, gain confidence, lose confidence, and find my way back. I certainly had no idea that more than 2 decades later, I would be looking back at that young woman and realizing just how far she had come. At the time, I thought I was simply starting behind. I didn't know that I was starting a journey that would teach me much more than how to earn a degree. And so we have the reflect and respond questions. What happened in your life that made you begin to believe you were behind? What circumstances became so closely associated with you that it began to feel like part of your identity? So this chapter is difficult for me because when I look back at the younger version of myself, I realize how early I began forming an identity around struggle. I went from being a child who had experienced academic success to becoming someone who truly believed, I am not smart. And once you believe something about yourself long enough, you begin to make decisions from that belief. You stop saying, what am I capable of? And you start saying, what's the easiest thing I can get through? That distinction matters because sometimes we don't make decisions based on who we are. We make them based on who we believe we are. And I had to eventually confront that. One of the verses I include in this chapter is Psalm 139:14. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That verse reminds me that my academic record was never the complete story of who I was. My grades could tell me what happened, they couldn't tell me who I was. My setbacks could tell me where I struggled. They couldn't tell me what God had placed inside of me. And maybe you're watching this because you feel behind. Maybe you didn't graduate when you thought you would. Maybe you changed careers. Maybe you started over. Maybe you're raising children while trying to pursue your own dreams. Maybe you look around and feel like everybody else is ahead. I want you to hear this. Your timeline is not your identity. Being behind in one area doesn't mean you're behind in every area. And being delayed doesn't mean you're denied. Sometimes God is doing a work in us that we can't measure by a calendar. So here's your question to sit with. What happened in your life that made you begin to believe you were behind? Don't rush past the question. Think about it, write it down, and then ask yourself, is that really what God says about me? So I hope you enjoyed this first episode. Thank you for joining me. Next, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to bring my husband, Michael, into the conversation, okay? Now, he hasn't read the book yet, so he's going to literally be answering the questions off the dome, okay? So this should be very interesting. We're going to talk about something that happened during my journey back to school involving a $5,000 cash sale. It was for a dream, and it was a sacrifice that didn't produce the outcome that we expected. But looking back, I don't believe that effort was wasted. I'll see you in the bonus episode.
Like, share, and subscribe.